Coming up now on your spoiler-free wrestling news rundown, Tony Khan is definitely not running for Congress. Keith Lee has posted a message to AEW fans following his debut on Dynamite, and we also have a health update on Conan. I'm Gentleman Ian, and this is Spoiler-Free Wrestling. At Spoiler Free Wrestling, our goal is to give you all the wrestling news you want, but with none of the spoilers. We'll be going through all of the news making headlines in the world of professional wrestling today, but we will omit any information which could potentially spoil future shows for you. If you appreciate this type of wrestling coverage, please subscribe, click the like button, and share this video with anyone who you think would appreciate it. There are a couple of stories making headlines in the world of professional wrestling today concerning Tony Khan. The first is that he is definitely not running for Congress. It had actually been reported that he was running for Congress by a website called Pro Football Talk, as well as the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Ian Rappaport tweeted, #Jaguars Chief Football Strategy Officer Tony Khan has filed with the FEC to run for Congress in Florida's 4th Congressional District. Already heavily involved with the Jags, AEW, and Fulham, now Congress? However, Tony Khan refuted these claims, saying that the filings are fake and that he is definitely not running for Congress. So, assuming someone may have had a little joke. And so Tony Khan wrote, "The fact-checking standard for Pro Football Talk reporting is far lower than that of AEW's roving reporter Tony Schiavone. I'm definitely not running for Congress. This filing is faker than Eddie Gilbert's apology to Tommy Rich in 1984. PFT sources as trustworthy as MJF." Pretty funny response from Tony Khan. Tony Khan also made some headlines on various wrestling news websites for comments he made about Jay White's debut in AEW this week on Dynamite. So according to Tony Khan, the deal to bring in Jay White hadn't been made until Sunday, which was after he had promised someone was walking through the forbidden door with some social media posts that he had made during Rampage. So on the Friday, Tony Khan wrote, "As referenced on AEW Rampage, I have a surprise on AEW Dynamite live on TBS. A top wrestler will walk through the forbidden door this Wednesday and debut in AEW. More info to come. Thank you to everyone who joined us for a great Rampage tonight. See you Wednesday on TBS." So apparently Tony Khan was referring to Keith Lee's debut when talking about somebody walking through the forbidden door. However, this doesn't really fit with the forbidden door definition most people are working with. They would assume that it would have to be somebody from another promotion. So Tony Khan, not wanting to upset these fans, opted to bring in Jay White, who would be walking through the forbidden door from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So after Dynamite on Wednesday night, Tony Khan tweeted out, "I didn't secure Jay White until Sunday. I realized after the fact that Friday night I butchered my own definition of forbidden door in hyping tonight. I heard the fans' feedback and wanted to ensure that tonight was a special AEW Dynamite for all. Thank you, everyone who watched." The big signing AEW promised for this week's episode of Dynamite was Keith Lee. He becomes the 5th former NXT champion to sign with AEW. The previous ones are Malachi Black, Adam Cole, Andrade El Idolo, and Pac. Also, there are some former NXT champions currently free agents, including Samoa Joe, Killer Kross, Johnny Gargano, and Bo Dallas. So Keith Lee took to Twitter following his debut on Dynamite and thanked the fans for the response he received. Lee wrote, "We got a lot of work to do still, but I more than appreciate the warm welcome back. The person with the sign that had the same silhouette that's on the front of my hoodie, thank you. Touched my soul. And with sad family times hopefully behind me, let's grind. #forward march." WWE Hall of Famer Lita will take on Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship in Saudi Arabia at the Elimination Chamber on February 19th. Now, in some interviews she took part in 2018, Lita was very critical of WWE's Saudi Arabian show, stating, her concerns about there being no women on the show. In a recent interview with the Ring the Bells podcast, Lita stated why she feels differently about WWE's Saudi Arabia shows now. Here is what Lita had to say. Lita said, "So I will say I was outspoken on the early relationship between WWE and Saudi. Oh, they say they want women to wrestle over there, but I don't know if I believe it. There's no women on this card. There's women on the card now, and I've talked to the women personally that have been over there, and they're like, it's unbelievable. There are women crying, never thinking they would get to see two women be so strong in the ring. They're like, it's really powerful. You're going to enjoy that. And so sure, do they have a long way to go? Do we as a society have a long way to go? Absolutely. But you've got to take the opportunities when they're there." And on the same note, WWE unveiled the first ever billboards in Saudi Arabia featuring female WWE superstars. You can see up on your screen now a picture of Becky Lynch and Lita on a billboard promoting the Elimination Chamber on February 19th from the Jeddah Superdome. WWE reportedly has some interest in signing Jade Cargill if she should become a free agent at some point. This was addressed recently by Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast. He said, "I know for a fact that people in WWE are interested in her now that they've gotten to see what she can do on TV." Now, this is actually the third such report that's been made in recent weeks. Earlier reports stated that there were people in WWE interested in Wardlow if he was to become a free agent at some point, and similar reports suggested that WWE would be interested in the services of Maxwell Jacob Friedman when he really does become a free agent in 2024. So, at some point, will we see wrestlers who have made a name for themselves in AEW come to WWE? Perhaps we will. There was a health update on Conan published in the Wrestling Observer newsletter today. So last month, there were reports that Conan had heart surgery as a result of complications he faced following a severe bout of COVID-19 from a year earlier. Now, Conan also had a kidney transplant in 2007, but now needs another one because of the impacts of that bad bout with COVID-19. So, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter's report on Conan, he has two potential donors lined up for a kidney transplant. He is still waiting on one of the donors to get tested to see if they are compatible. There is a second donor, however, who was deemed too overweight to donate the kidney to Conan, but is currently in the process of losing enough weight to be able to do so. So right now it's a waiting game, but he's been beset by health issues of late, but is hoping to travel for the next AAA tapings, wrote Dave Meltzer. So best wishes going out to Conan as he battles his current health problems. Killer Kross, the former Karrion Kross in WWE, was announced as returning to Major League Wrestling. He will take part in the promotion's shows from Charlotte on February the 26th. He had done, I believe, just one set of tapings for MLW before he signed with WWE. So a vignette promoting Killer Kross's return to the promotion aired on MLW television last night. And so he is expected to be on that Charlotte show and the episodes of Fusion that they will be taping there. Kyle O'Reilly has been absent from AEW programming in recent weeks. The last time he actually wrestled a match for the promotion was in late December. Some fans evidently were feeling as though maybe his storyline with Bobby Fish and Adam Cole had been dropped, but that is not the case according to a recent report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Dave Meltzer wrote, "The reason Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly haven't been out with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks thing has stopped is because O'Reilly was given time off since his wife just had a baby. It is expected to resume when he returns." Now, this storyline saw a new development this week as Jay White debuted and helped Adam Cole and the Young Bucks attack the Best Friends in the back. Now, in AEW storyline, Cole brought in White without running it by the Young Bucks first. So now we have a storyline where members of the Elite, former members of the Undisputed Era, and Bullet Club now have overlapping members and alliances. So it should be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks with this storyline. The Dunkin' Donut Center in Providence, Rhode Island announced that WWE Backlash will take place from the venue on Sunday, May 8th. Tickets go on sale to the general public on February 18th with a pre-sale from February 16th to the 17th. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte Flair are all featured on a poster for the event. WWE is actually taping 2 episodes of Smackdown tonight from the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. This is because next Friday's show would be cutting it a little bit too close to the Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia on the Saturday. So lined up for tonight's show, we will have a SmackDown Women's Championship match as Charlotte Flair defends against Naomi. Natalya is going to battle Aaliyah in a dungeon-style match. And then we have 2 segments announced. One just stating that Goldberg is back. So Goldberg's back, and he's going to do something with Roman Reigns, assumedly. Also, there is going to be a special episode of Insane with Sami Zayn hosting Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Now, they will also tape the following week's SmackDown tonight, and that show will feature Shinsuke Nakamura defending the Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn. And AEW will also air a taped episode of Rampage tonight. This took place after Dynamite on Wednesday night from the Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Here is what is scheduled for tonight's show. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, is going to be taking on Robin Renegade. The Young Bucks are going to go up against their former New Japan Pro Wrestling rivals, Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. Hook is back in action. He is going to take on a student from the factory in Blake Lee. And also for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, Jurassic Express defends against the Gun Club. And that'll do it for this video, everyone. Please hit the subscribe button, click the like button, and share this video with anyone who you feel would appreciate it. I'm Gentleman Ian for Spoiler Free Wrestling.